There are plenty of players out there that are just on the precipice of greatness that I'm sure will come into their own this year.
With upgraded weapons around him, Lawrence should look more like the generational talent he was advertised as in year 2.
Some players looked primed for so-called breakout campaigns in 2022. We present one player at every NFL position who will break out this year. Offense. Quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. Don't let Urban Meyer cause you to forget that Tila was once viewed as a generational quarterback prospect when the Jacksonville Jaguars drafted him first overall in 2021. Also, not all first-year QBs find immediate success like Dak Prescott or Ben Roethlisberger. Lawrence never stood a chance with a lackluster supporting cast and, quite frankly, the worst head coach in NFL history. That's not an exaggeration, by the way. Thankfully, the Jaguars wasted little time fixing the roster and improving team morale this offseason. They hired a player-friendly head coach in Doug Peterson to replace Meyer. He might just be the best coach this team has ever had. GM Trent Baalke also spent some big bucks in free agency. Sure, most of the guys were overpaid, but Christian Kirk has 1,000-yard potential. All-pro guard Brandon Scherff will significantly bolster the pass blocking in front of Lawrence, and both Marvin Jones and Evan Ingram can provide significant numbers in the passing game as well. Oh, and let's not forget the return of T-Law's former Clemson teammate Travis Etienne, who missed all of last year after suffering a foot injury in preseason. 1 year of experience under his belt, a much-needed head coaching upgrade, and better pieces all around him add up to a breakout year for Lawrence. It's time to get excited, Duval County. Wide receiver, Rashod Bateman. This is a tough one. You could also go with someone like Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, or even Lawrence's new teammate Christian Kirk. But we're fully sold on Bateman breaking out in Baltimore, now that he's the undisputed #1 wideout on the Ravens roster. In case you somehow missed it, the Ravens traded Marquise Hollywood Brown to the Arizona Cardinals at the draft. And that bodes pretty well for the 2021 first-round pick, who finished with a respectable 515 receiving yards in 12 games a year ago. Bateman has the ideal combination of size at 6'1", 193 pounds, and speed. He's gonna flourish working alongside Mark Andrews in the passing game, and the Ravens' play-action calls will really create some big-time openings for the former Golden Gopher. It all adds up to a breakout campaign for Bateman in his second NFL season. Running back, Travis Etienne. Okay, this was the toughest one for us. Javonte Williams, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers, Tony Pollard, A.J. Dillon. There were plenty of backs who were considered here. But we are just too high on the potential of Lawrence's aforementioned Clemson pal. Etienne sadly had to miss his entire rookie year with a Lisfranc injury, as noted earlier. But he's good to go and ready for his long-awaited first NFL snaps. The Jags' other top back, James Robinson, is still recovering from a torn Achilles, and it's unclear whether he'll be full go for the start of the season. Etienne should open as the lead back as a result. His ability to take over games as both a runner and pass catcher will make him the go-to guy in this offense. It helps that Lawrence and Etienne spent all that time together at Clemson. Doug Peterson loved his pass-catching running backs in Philadelphia, so hey, expect more of the same in Duval. If he plays the whole season, Etienne will easily push for 1,500 total yards and double-digit touchdowns. Tight end, Pat Freiermuth. The Penn State product had a stellar rookie year in the Steel City, racking up 60 catches for 497 yards and 7 touchdowns. And that was with a past his prime Ben Roethlisberger throwing him the football. Regardless of how you feel about Mitch Trubisky, he's got to be an upgrade over the 2021 version of Roethlisberger. And if Trubisky doesn't pan out, we like Kenny Pickett's chances of stepping in and flourishing right away. There's a lot of speed on this Pittsburgh offense, starting with Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and rookie George Pickens. This opens the door for Freiermuth to do his damage in the middle of the field and, most importantly, in the red zone. Not saying that Freiermuth will hit the 1,000 yards, but 70-something catches for 700 to 800 yards and double-digit touchdowns isn't out of the question. Offensive tackle, Penei Sewell. Like Trevor Lawrence, Sewell was considered a generational prospect at his position. Somehow, he fell to the Detroit Lions at number 7 overall in that same draft. Pro Football Focus had him for 5 sacks allowed to go along with 11 penalties. Yet, despite that, Sewell finished with a solid 77.0 PFF grade. Not every offensive tackle can dominate right away like Tristan Wirfs did for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2020. Sewell's skill set, to go along with his strength and athleticism, set him apart from most most other linemen, so expect a potential All-Pro season from the Oregon product in year 2. Center, C-ERIK McCoy. The New Orleans Saints have a knack for finding gems outside of round 1. 2019 second-rounder C-ERIK McCoy, the number 48 pick that year, has been an above-average starter through 3 seasons. But now, it is time for him to take that next step. According to PFF, McCoy has only allowed 2 sacks through 3 seasons. That included a total of 0 allowed in 2021. With Ryan Ramczyk still in the fold and a promising rookie in Trevor Penning replacing the oft-injured Terron Armstead, the Saints O-line should remain a prolific unit. McCoy has mostly dominated in the pass-blocking department, but there is still room for improvement as a run blocker. He is slowly but surely developing into one of the league's best centers, though. Guard, Alijah Vera-Tucker. The New York Jets struck gold when they moved up to select USC guard Alijah Vera-Tucker with the number 14 pick in 2021. Vera-Tucker had a solid rookie year for the Jets, allowing just 2 sacks and 1,027 offensive snaps per PFF. He was penalized 5 times, but otherwise, Vera-Tucker was mostly above average across the board. The arrival of veteran standout guard Laken Tomlinson, whom the Jets signed in free agency, should only help Vera-Tucker's development. On top of that, 2020 first-rounder Mekhi Becton is back after missing all but 1 game last year. He and Tomlinson will help take some of the pressure off of Vera-Tucker, who is bound to improve even more following a productive rookie year. A first or second-team All-Pro nod is not out of the question. Defense. Defensive end, Kwity Paye. Paye's rookie 2021 season wasn't a disaster by any means, but the Indianapolis Colts probably expected better. He had 4 sacks and 16 QB pressures in 2021, but the deeper stats suggest that improvement is inevitable. According to Mike Renner of Pro Football Focus, Paye led all rookie edge defenders with a 71.3 pass rushing grade. Extra experience will naturally make Paye a better football player, and he is in good hands with superstars Darius Leonard and DeForest Buckner, plus newcomer Yannick Ngakoue leading the front 7. Ngakoue will likely draw the tougher matchups, and Buckner will continue to wreak havoc in the middle. This will open the door for Paye to go off. Double-digit sacks, multiple forced fumbles, and a Pro Bowl selection seems much more likely for the youngster in 2022. Just watch. Defensive tackle, Christian Barmore. Bill Belichick loves drafting Alabama players. The New England Patriots drafted him in round 2 with the number 38 pick in 2021. PFF had Barmore down for 48 pressures in his rookie year, even though he barely played more than half of the team's defensive snaps. That's pretty ridiculous, and it is a strong sign that he's on the path to superstardom. The Pats are undergoing a bit of a youth movement on D, and it starts with Barmore patrolling the defensive line. He was very solid as a rookie, but 2022 will mark a monster breakout season for the hulking 310-pound giant. Outside linebacker, Jeremiah OWUSU-KORAMOAH. OWUSU-KORAMOAH was one of the better defensive rookies of 2021. It was easy to overlook that, though, since the Cleveland Browns had a very disappointing season. But you'll definitely notice him more in 2022. JOK will get an expanded role after playing just 65% of the defensive snaps last year. PFF had him graded at 76.5 on the year, which is very impressive considering the limited action he saw. JOK had 1.5 sacks, 4 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, and he allowed only 141 receiving yards in coverage per Pro Football Reference. The additional playing time will only lead to one thing: OWUSU-KORAMOAH emerging as a breakout star in 2022. Inside linebacker, Patrick Queen. The LSU product just felt like the perfect fit in Baltimore when they took him 28th overall in 2020. Fast forward 2 years later, however, and Queen has barely been a serviceable starter. Queen has produced 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 204 combined tackles, but he's been absolutely awful in coverage. Per Pro Football Reference, opposing QBs have a passer rating of 110.6 when they target him. The arrival of new defensive coordinator Mike McDonald should help Queen for starters. Secondly, the Ravens D will be healthier with Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters back in the fold. The new super safety duo of Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams will certainly help out as well. Queen won't be tasked with doing as much coverage now. McDonald can use Queen for his strengths as a run stopper and pass rusher. Cornerback, J.C. Horn. A foot injury forced Horn to miss the majority of his rookie year. He only played in 3 games, but the number 7 pick of 2021 impressed during his brief playing time. And check out this stat from Mike Renner. In 95 coverage snaps, Horn only surrendered a single catch for 8 yards. Did we mention that he's only a rookie? Well, now Horn is healthy and has a year of experience under his belt. Carolina has a lot of promising pieces on that defense. Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin, and Shaq Thompson are household names now, but don't overlook Horn. If he's fully healthy, the South Carolina product will emerge as the league's next superstar lockdown corner. Free safety, Trevor Merrick. The number 43 pick of 2021 was instrumental in helping the Raiders D enjoy a notable turnaround, which helped them reach the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. Simply put, however, Merrick hasn't hit the ceiling yet. He was quite the ball hawk with 6 pass defenses and 1 pick, and Pro Football Reference credited him with allowing only 181 receiving yards in coverage. New defensive coordinator Patrick Graham should find a way to fully maximize the talents of Merrick and fellow sophomore defensive back Nate Hobbs. Strong safety, Kyle Duggar. Bill Belichick went off the board when he took Lenore Ryan's safety Kyle Duggar with the number 37 pick in 2020. But to nobody's surprise, the hooded genius saw something that few others did. Duggar has been a prototypical New England Patriots safety. He's the perfect successor to Devin McCourty as a complete player who possesses phenomenal football IQ, speed, and ball tracking abilities. Duggar had 4 picks, 5 pass defenses, and 92 combined tackles as a sophomore. Opposing QBs had a 66.7 passer rating when targeting him in coverage. An increased role and more experience will help Duggar go from vastly underrated to bona fide superstar in 2022. Just you watch. Special teams. Punter, Matt ARAIZA. The Buffalo Bills drafted San Diego State product Matt ARAIZA in the 6th round. And hey, why not? The rest of the roster is set. Plus, ARAIZA only won the 2021 Ray Guy Award, given annually to the nation's top punter, as well as unanimous All-American honors. The Bills are one of the best coached teams in the league. ARAIZA should have no problem going into the new secret weapon on this AFC juggernaut. Kicker, Greg Joseph. After bouncing around from team to team over 3 years, Joseph finally found his footing with the Minnesota Vikings in 2021. Odd, we know, since the Vikings aren't supposed to have reliable kickers. Joseph made 86.8 of his field goal attempts in mini last year, including 7 of 9 attempts from 50-plus yards. Perhaps a full season in the Gopher State will help Joseph grow into one of the game's best kickers in 2022. Returner, Velus Jones Jr. We didn't really care for the Bears' 2022 offseason, but Velus Jones Jr. was a nice find in round 3 with the number 71 pick. The flashy Tennessee product will get every chance to do damage as a special teams returner, reminiscent of Cordarrelle Patterson during the latter's tenure in the Windy City. Jones, who ran a 4.31 40-yard dash, is explosive when he gets the ball in open space. He should be one of the very few positives from what looks like to be a long season in Chicago. But who do you think will be the NFL's top breakout star of 2022? Join us in the comments section below. If you like this video and learn a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.